Welcome to this episode of the Joe Dorgan Show. I'm Joe Dorgan, and I'm here with my guest, George Navarro. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Man, we've known each other for a long time.
Long time.
When did we first meet?
God, I knew you before you knew me. You're legendary Joe Dorgan. So, you were doing some really cool stuff long before you knew who I existed. So, I went to the Lost Iguana a couple of times. I knew who you were from there. Mesa Inn. And then, of course, when you opened Club 101 is when I really finally got to meet you and introduce myself. And the rest is history, We've got a lot of stories to tell.
Well, the Lost Iguana was this warehouse club. It was on the Far East Side, and it was, that's kind of where I got my start, too, working with Freddie Jaime. Where is that guy?
He's a good guy. I like Freddie. We got to find Freddie. You got to bring him on the show.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
So you've been in a lot of bands, too. You've done a lot of music, right?
Yeah. Much like you, music is in my blood. I love it. It's always been a big part of my life. I remember being 12 years old and watching MTV, and I saw Depeche Mode, People Are People, and they're on this ship, and it's black and white, and they're banging on stuff, and I was blown away. And I begged my parents for a keyboard, and finally got a cheap little Casio or something, and just taught myself how to play, and eventually started working with other people that had the same passion for music like me.
I just watched a Depeche Mode fan page, and they have a plaque in this high school where Depeche Mode played. I can imagine seeing them at a high school show, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, where was your first show when you played? Do you remember your first show?
My first show, well, I think we did a backyard party. So that was like the first show, but my first major show was at Club 101.
Well, the first show you did, what was the name of the band?
Gosh, I don't even remember. It was me and Bo and a guy named Ben and Ruben. Oh man, I don't remember what name we went under. It was a long time ago. I'm embarrassed to say I don't remember the name of that band.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
I think when I first discovered MTV, I'm just like, whoa, yeah. Groups I'd never heard of, and yeah.
It was pretty amazing. But getting to play your club was just phenomenal. I was going there, I think I was 19 when I first went to your club. And
fake ID?
Not even a fake ID.
Because it was...
You already knew who I was, and I think that, the door guys just saw me as a regular, and I was just able to... Yeah, it's George. So, I got together with a couple of other guys, Steven Soto, Philip Duran, and we formed a band called LIM, which was the Lost Industry of Music. And I remember trying
Very popular band, yeah.
Thank you, yeah. I remember trying to get you our tape. I think we finally got a tape in your hands, and we got a call one day, and you're like, hey, you guys ready? And we were like, yeah. And so the first show that we booked, and we got to open up for at your club was Tea for Two. That was a great show.
That was a good show, yeah.
Yeah. And I think they're still around. I think they're still doing music.
Let My Love Rule, is that was their song?
Yeah.
Or something like that?
Something
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
Yeah, they're still around.
Yeah. So that was our first, jump in the water and opportunity to kind of break the stage fright and get going. So that was cool. We went on to do a couple more shows, at your club. Well, lots more shows, and then we did Opus 3.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic show. That was just a really good group out of England. And then the big break for us was, Anythingbox. They were the group at the time. And so when we got to open for them, that was a big deal for us.
They had played so many shows. I mean, was it just you and LAM? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I kind of defected for a minute and, got together with Caesar from X21, but that's another story,
Oh, we got to tell those stories.
Yeah, definitely.
You were telling us before we got on some stories about Opus 3. Did you want to talk about that?
Well, they were just a great group.
We were kids.
Yeah, of course.
Disclaimers. We were just kids.
Total disclaimers. We got to hang out with them after the show at their hotel room, and all they wanted was Whataburger. They had heard about Texas and Whataburger, and they heard that that was the thing. And so we were able to get them some Whataburger, and we took it back to their hotel rooms, and we were all hanging out. And I was dating a girl at the time, and there was a table full of party favors, and I won't mention the particular party favors, but it kept drawing my attention, and she said, absolutely not, don't even think about it. So I ended up eating French fries, and but
party favors, yeah.
And so we got to hang out with them and talk to them for a while, so that was pretty cool. And before I had even played your club as a musical act, I remember getting to party with a lot of bands, you know, just because I had done some work at your club with Freddie and painted the basement and, you know, helped build stages for shows and stuff like that. I remember hanging out with the Flock of Seagulls. That was a lot of fun. After their show, you know, they were interested in meeting some ladies, and you know, looking for party favors. We were able to accommodate their requests, and so there was a big party in their hotel room after that. And I'll just leave it at that. You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Should have called George. Hey, they want they want to meet girls. They want to meet, you know, no.
Yeah, that was a good time.
I had that role when I worked at the comic strip. I had to take comedians out, and you know.
That's right.
So.
Yeah.
And then people started coming to the club. It was much easier. Yeah. Wow. Flock of Seagulls. What was your favorite show that you played? Was that Anythingbox?
That's one of the big ones. I enjoyed playing opening up for Book of Love. That was a big one.
That was at 101, the original?
That was at the original 101. At that point, I had played. I was playing with X21, so I got to open up for Book of Love with X21 with Caesar and Bo and a couple of guys. So that was a really good show. I enjoyed that as well. Because I remember seeing Book of Love at the Mesa Inn when I was like 17, and that was like the Tubular Bells time, and it was really cool.
The Witchcraft tour. Yeah, that was
awesome.
that was a fun show.
That was a great show, and so that was really. It's one thing to see a band, and then a couple years later being, you know, on stage, sharing the stage with them. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Are you working on music now, or?
Not really. You know, every now and then I still have, you know, some like guitar and keyboards and whatnot, and I still write just for, you know, to relieve stress and whatnot. But did a couple things a couple years ago with LIM. Still, I'm still in touch with those guys. They're like brothers. We have a
reunion show.
Yeah, you know.
Love, hate, brothers. Yeah, exactly.
You know, Steve and Philip, man.
I got a brother. Yeah, I know.
You know. I love those guys, and we're in touch every week, and we have a group text going regularly. So.
You just recently came to. You went to go see Cruel World in California.
Yeah, that was amazing. You know, to see all these bands.
I hate you, but no.
I invited you.
I know.
I invited you.
I know you did.
You were too busy. You know, I know you got a lot going on. You got all your gigs and whatnot. So, but it was a pretty awesome. I went with my buddy Patrick. I know.
Cool guy. Yeah. My neighbor.
Your neighbor, right?
Yeah.
You guys are like next door neighbors.
Yeah.
So Patrick and I flew out to Pasadena to go see the Cruel World Festival at the Rose Bowl, or outside the Rose Bowl. So that was pretty awesome.
PIL, Morrissey, Blondie, Psychedelic Furs.
You know, Bauhaus, the original lineup. I mean, it was amazing to see Bauhaus under a blood red moon. That was just, I mean, unbelievable. So.
But I was excited that you said that you were excited about hearing new bands, because everybody wants to go see the big ones. But which band did you like?
You know, I really enjoyed TRST. That guy is he puts on a heck of a show. He's got an amazing voice. If you get the chance, listen to TRST. There's a song called Sulk, S-U-L-K. That's amazing. Drab Majesty was really good. I'd never heard them before, so I really enjoyed seeing them as well. Those are kind of the two that stood out to me the most.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So I do a music show called Stepping Out, and kept doing it, you know, kind of honoring Caesar, who passed away. And I work with Bo, that we talked about. But joining the show will be you, and I'm so excited because I know you have a lot of stories, and you have good taste, and we're getting ready to record our first show in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Gosh, what else can I ask you? So many questions.
It's a little time.
Yeah. One of my favorite stories of 101, you don't want me to tell that story.
Oh, I think I know this one. Yeah.
Well, we were just, like I said, we were all kids back in the day, but you know, George was very popular, and then he disappeared, and we're like, where's George? So, you know, we thought maybe George had met somebody or took off to another party and whatever. I get home at 2 in the morning, and I get a phone call from inside Club 101. Somebody's in the bathroom.
Yeah.
The alarm's going off.
Yeah, that would be me. So, not quite sure what happened. I was going through a really weird time in my life. Woke up in the bathroom, tried to get out the door. The alarms immediately went off. I called you. I'm like, I really need you to come to the club before the cops show up because I'm not trying to rob the place. I just never left.
Yeah.
And so you know, right away came over.
And that, we made a policy, hey, let's check the restrooms before we all leave.
Yeah, a good policy, yeah, going forward. So yeah, that's pretty crazy.
So you and I, we've kind of like, we run into each other, and then it's like, you know, we don't see each other for a while. But we recently, I've been hanging out, and we went to go see Anythingbox and Cause and Effect over at the Rock House, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that was really cool. I'm glad that we did that. You know, Claude, Anythingbox puts on a great show. Like we were talking about, it's like a storyteller's thing because he's really engaging with the audience and there's a lot of interaction. And he's telling the backstory to a lot of his songs. So I really applaud him. He's a great entertainer. I was excited also to see Cause and Effect. I'd never seen them live. Big fan of their music, and to meet Rob from Cause and Effect was really, really cool. Got to talk to him extensively after the show, and just a great guy. So I hope to, you know, see him again at some point. What did you think of the show?
Man, you know, Claude, this is a one-man show. He really does a good job. And he has this live podcast that he does on Facebook every Friday, and it's on YouTube. You should check that out. A good friend of, he loves El Paso, so he's talking about moving here. I hope he does. That'd be great.
Awesome. Yeah, that'd be great.
It was great to see Rob from Cause and Effect, because he played the original 101, then he did that Wada show, and do you remember the Wada show?
I do. I didn't get to go to that. I don't know what was going on at the time, but I heard about it. I think X21 opened up for them.
Yeah, there was like 3,000 people. It was crazy, exciting people. Claude told the story that there was people sneaking through the rafters to meet them in the dressing room, and Rob says, I guess I missed that, but it was nice to see Rob. And there was a guy at the show. I just want to throw this guy to the bus. Do you mind? You don't mind?
No, I know who you're talking about.
This guy named, I don't even want to name his name. He got banned from the living room, but he wants to talk to you and I during the whole show. And then he yells out to Rob, hey, play the hit single. Who does that?
Yeah, I mean, it's like yelling Freebird. You know, how idiotic could you be? That guy was really annoying. I know exactly who you're talking about. I hope to never see him again.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he's over there buying drinks for Rob, you know.
Yeah.
I just wanted to throw him under the bus.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's idiots like that kind of ruin the whole night. So, but you know, there was a lot of great opportunities for music in Juarez. You know, being our sister city. I remember playing a show at the Bull Ring with X21. We opened up for the Caifanes.
That's right.
Unfortunately, Caifanes were running super late. People were annoyed. So by the time X21 took the stage, it was a mess. I think I ended up throwing my keyboard off the stage and breaking it. It was a debacle. But the opportunity was really cool. You know, there's always been a lot of good opportunities in Juarez to play.
Yeah, I miss those fans.
Yeah.
In Juarez.
They're
yeah.
intense.
That's, in case you don't know, that's the sister city for El Paso. Juarez next. I'm sure everybody knows. Okay. There was a documentary about Club 101. It was like only in El Paso, and it was like a 5-minute. And you did such a good job. Like, you know, it was not scripted, and
no, you know, they just said just talk, and so I was, you know, I remember just talking about how excited I was to just encounter your club. You know, I remember the first time I went and we walked in, it was like the angels sang, you know, like, this is it. This is exactly where I need to be. It was the music and the people, and it was just an amazing time, an amazing place. So
yeah, it was good times.
Thank you for all of that. You've really blessed this city and touched more people than you probably realize.
Oh, it's really humbling when people say, oh, I met at 101, or met my first wife, my first husband, or first husband. Everybody has exes, I guess.
Absolutely.
Don't you guys have a website for? I mean, if people want your music, LIM, we can find it.
Yeah, you can find it on Facebook. It's, you know, Lost Industry of Music, LIM. You know, search Facebook for that. We've got a bunch of our music up there, a couple of videos, things like that. So, you know, it's nice to be able to preserve what you've done. We've done some really good songs, in my opinion, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's nice to be able to direct people to that, and they can hear our stuff.
And those guys, one's in Austin and one's...
Steve's in Austin and Philip's in San Diego. But like I said, we're in touch constantly. So.
And Steve did a history of, like a blog about,
yeah,
that was interesting, yeah.
He's quite the writer.
He said I was unapproachable. But I still love him, man. It was honest.
Yeah.
It was from the heart, yeah.
I think, you know, as kids, we were a little intimidated by you. Maybe that's what it was. I think I knew you better than they did. So
yeah.
I never felt that
You were the
way.
go-to guy.
You know, as you are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was just a little intimidation is what it was. So.
I think a Christmas reunion show would be so much fun.
I'm all for it. You know, it's up to these guys. I know, you know, life gets in the way, and they're, you know, like, got families and whatnot. But you know, it'd be great.
Did did you ever record with X21, or was it just you were in?
No, just did some live shows. Never got the opportunity to record with them.
Yeah. I think they just did that one recording.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good stuff, though.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Caesar was a phenomenal songwriter.
Yeah. Well, it's so good to talk to you here in person, man.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Love this guy. Love you, man.
I love you, man.
You're a good guy. Legend. El Paso legend.
If I had a bromance, it'd be this handsome guy. Anyway, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Joe Dorgan show. You can catch this episode and other episodes on the EP Sports Network. And if you have any suggestions for the show, or you can email us at events@epsportsnetwork.com. And then you can find me on social media, and you can find George on Facebook. You have Instagram too.
Yeah, /the George Navarro, I think is what it was.
Yeah. Man, I love when you do music, and I hope you're, but I'm so glad that you're passionate about new music too. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I'd love to be part of your events, and, you know, anytime you need help, you know, just pick up the phone and let me know. And
then, of course, he's going to be joining me on Stepping Out, which is a podcast you can find on Mixcloud. So
looking forward to it.
I'm so excited about your music knowledge.
Thank you,
so
brother.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. This has been a presentation by the El Paso Sports Network. Follow us at www.epsportsnetwork.com.